Cape Town is an amazing city, full of natural beauty, beaches, and attractions for everyone. But unfortunately, there is another side of Cape Town that we can't ignore and that we want to know more about. There is so much to learn about South Africa that we dedicated a day of our trip to understand a bit of the history of this country. So we booked a tour with my sister and her husband and let Nati and Susie show us the things in South Africa that we had questions about. Like, what are the different cultures that make South Africa? How did they influence the food in South Africa? And how is it going with the country since apartheid? To get an answer on those questions, we decided to go on a food tour and a township tour. They showed us the main food spots for the locals in Cape Town and the different cultural influences on those dishes. We also went with them to Langa, the first township of Cape Town, to understand the situation 30 years after the end of apartheid.
We started our food journey in downtown Cape Town, an area full of locals passing by all day, either for work or shopping, so there was no better place to start.
So yeah, Gatsby is what you're having here. Gatsby is very popular in Cape Town. Gatsby is like those long rolls, and then you put chips and anything to everything. So it's always enjoyed more for many years by colored people.
We started our tour trying Gatsby, a sandwich filled with different things, meat, fries and sauce. With Indian influence, this sandwich is very popular in Cape Town, usually shared by many people.
I can't. Look.
Good? Nice, huh?
Good start.
After that, a samosa for on the way.
Nice samosa? Jonas, you like the samosa?
It's nice. It's Indian.
Fish and chips, especially amongst us black people, has never really been a big thing. But in the last, I think, 10, 15 years, it's grown a lot where people would even go to like dining restaurants and sit and have seafood. Something that was not really happening 15, 20 years ago.
Fish and chips, very popular in South Africa because of the British influence.
So here we are eating a boerewors roll, and it's like a hot dog, and in South Africa we call it a boerewors roll. So I think for a long time sausage, hot dog has always been eaten more by the white Afrikaners. So hence they claim it and call it the boerewors roll.
How it looks?
It's nice.
Then we went to a place where there were a lot of food shops next to each other with each a different type of kitchen. We got a bunny chow served, which I had never heard of before. It is basically a bread filled with South African curry. It tasted really good. We just did a big part of the food tour. It was not only food from black people, but it was food from Indians, food from colored people. It was really good, and now I got a nice piece of my dessert still. Really sweet, really nice. As you can see in the food, South Africa is a mix of different cultures. But as much as how the South African food is mixed nowadays and available for everyone, it was not so for groups of people living together from different colors. Life in South Africa was very different. Until the 1990s, the country was under the policy of apartheid. The racial segregation, which dictated that non-white South Africans, which were the majority of the population, were required to live in separate areas from the whites and use separate public facilities. Besides that, the contact between the racial groups would be limited. Still nowadays, it is not that difficult to notice that there is still segregation in the cities.
It's because of the fact that there's a lot of black people that are here. So what you would find is white people would go more to the places where there's not so much black people. There are some places like Somerset, Tiger Valley, Claremont. But the thing is, even those places nowadays, black people go there anyway. During apartheid, by law, you could not just come to the city. The only time you came to the city is to work. Walking around as a black person, any white person can come up to you and ask you, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Show me where's your pass. So that is why people would not just
Any
come.
white person.
Any white person.
And what happens if you don't have a pass? What does that white
Get
person
in
do?
trouble.
Under the apartheid system, any groups of people who were not legally considered white were not permitted to live in the cities. They were required to live in townships. Townships were underdeveloped urban areas that became more popular during apartheid because those were reserved for non-whites. Those still exist today, and we went on a visit to Langa, the first township of Cape Town. For us, it was very important to understand how things are evolving since the end of apartheid.
This township is one of the old townships in the country. So it's one of the few townships that were built before apartheid started. Because a lot of the townships were built as a result of apartheid. So in 1986, all the apartheid laws were stopped in South Africa on paper. And the biggest reason that they stopped the laws is because I was born, they were scared.
Yeah, what was the purpose?
Of
Sorry,
apartheid.
John. Yeah.
It was power, and also it was for the minerals. South Africa is one of the rich countries when it comes to minerals. In Africa, diamond, gold, even other minerals as well. So it was always about power and control of that. So that's why.
Yeah, well, like, for me, like why you have to separate people and
To have control over.
Okay.
Yeah, to have control over them, and also to take as much as you can as well. While you are controlling them, on the other hand, you are taking everything.
Nati was also explaining us about the living conditions that were poor and overcrowded.
One room would be shared by 16 men, 16 men sharing 6 bedrooms, and 16 men in the 80s, 90s became 16 families because the wives came with children. Some children would be born here. I was actually born in something similar to this, on the other side of the township in a hostel where 3 bedrooms were shared by 8 men, and 8 men became 8 families. Township is community. Like community study, these guys being put as strangers, they lived as brothers. Their wives came, they all lived as one family, and they spread it out throughout the township. That is why you'll find a lot of people do not work hard to move outside the township, but to improve their lives in the township.
Nowadays, the containers are still used, being shared by 2 families. After the end of apartheid, the government started to build decent accommodation for the people in the townships, but it's far from enough.
depending on the politicians. They always talk nice when elections are close. That's that happens here. Like for instance now, the next year we are voting.
Okay.
For the first time, we're not really certain about what's going to happen since 1994. So there's going to be a lot of nice promises and nice food parcels before elections. And there'll be some grants coming from government as well.
White foreigners, well, we built all the infrastructure in this country for you. So we Africans really should have ownership and rights over Cape Town, for example, because it's our job. We put our effort into it. We used you guys, okay? But what do you?
It's a good question because I had that one in my head. I had this one in my head as well.
They're benefiting also from the land ownership, and also they're benefiting from looting of our minerals as well. So they are them putting the infrastructure as a way for us not to see what they are doing behind. But we will focus on, but these people are billing us this, they're putting this. So it's nice to have them here. There is an improvement. It's nothing compared to what they were taking like behind our backs. So.
Back to the food tour, we were introduced to the South African delicacy, a sheephead. Those are cooked right in the middle of the township and are a very popular snack, also known as smiley. You can get a half or a full head. We had to try it.
What do you think?
Oh, sheep.
What do you think? It's okay, right? You gonna have some more, Isabella? You gonna have some more? No? Later. Tongue? Sheep tongue of a sheep.
This is weird.
It's weird, right?
It's a texture, huh? Jelly.
It also has a sort of extra taste in it. I'm gonna jump, please. I'm gonna jump. You can eat because I know you're hungry.
Very good.
Continuing our tour through the township, we got to an area called Beverly Hills, where the people who succeed live. There, you will find the doctors and lawyers that grew up in Langa but never wanted to leave. In our last stop of the day, we tried samp and beans, a traditional South African dish based on corn and beans. Great way to finish the day.
This is the same beans I was telling you about.
Okay.
So it's small.
Smells good, smells good.
Very nice.
Is it nice? The beans, some of them.
As we could see, the situation in townships is getting better, yet it's still far from being what it should be. Tourism is also getting more important in the life of the townships, and it helps to raise the awareness of the reality of South Africa. Besides that, it is also a way to support the local community. If you go to South Africa, we definitely recommend doing a township tour, as it helped us to get a lot of questions answered and to have a better view on what life in South Africa really means for most people. We hope you liked this video. Please share with us in the comments your opinions. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next one.